In 2014, a helicopter was flying over Siberia when the pilot's attention was drawn to a strange thing on the ground. A very large sinkhole, whose width was 80 feet and depth was as much as a 15-story building. The pilot circled around the sinkhole twice, captured a few photos and then left from there. But when these photos were posted on the internet, this news spread all over the world. Many scientists, geologists, and Arctic researchers had never seen such a big sinkhole before, and that too, which was closed at night. Its volume is so big that even the water of 10 Olympic-sized swimming pools can be filled easily. But how did it become suddenly? It was not in anyone's control to explain this, at least not by looking at these photos. This part of Siberia is called the Yamal Peninsula in the north of Russia. Due to extreme conditions, the population is not equal here. There are only a few thousand people living in the Yamal Peninsula. And in their language, Yamal means the last part of the earth. After the news of this sinkhole in Yamal, Arctic geologists started to navigate here. By the way, sinkholes have been created many times in the world and have been represented in many cities. Sometimes vehicles are seen passing through them and sometimes whole houses. These sinkholes are mostly formed due to the flow of water because water weakens the ground below. But the geologist says that this sinkhole of Yamal does not look normal in any way because the border of a normal sinkhole is flat and not raised, and as a normal sinkhole takes out a part of the land, that is, nothing comes out from inside it. But when this sinkhole of Yamal was observed, its edge was also raised and its rubble was spread far and wide. Pieces of stones were found in a radius of 200 to 900 meters. This kind of debris is seen only where an asteroid has fallen. But researchers have found the cause of the sinkhole. No evidence of an asteroid hitting inside was found. Experts believe that this can happen only in one condition, a very big natural blast. Normally, the lava boiling inside the ground can cause such an explosion. But if this is true, then the lava or volcanic rock coming out of the sinkhole is visible, but it does not have any relation with the volcano. Then how did this sinkhole, which looks like a crater, come into being? To find out, some samples of air, water, and soil were collected in it, and this time scientists found an interesting clue. When all these samples were tested, one thing was found in a very large quantity: methane gas. Methane used for cooking and heating is a natural gas which is made together with carbon and hydrogen. If it is in large quantities, then it immediately ignites when it meets the air. Now, there were many chances that this sinkhole was made because of methane gas coming out of the earth. This mystery was now over for scientists, and they had no interest in going deep into this matter. But before they knew how much methane gas had come, 8 more sinkholes were discovered on the Yamal Peninsula. All these sinkholes were made in the same way as if there was an explosion here. When seen in satellite images, it was known that after 2014, one after the other sinkholes were being formed here. What were the signs of the fast-growing sinkholes? Scientists are now worried to know. But the more disturbing thing was that all these sinkholes had a very big connection with climate change. In 2014, the first sinkhole was built here, and the record of high temperature was noticed in Siberia the following year. And all other sinkholes were also built during this high temperature. From the beginning of the 19th century, the average temperature of the world has increased to 1 degree Celsius. But the speed of temperature increase in the Arctic Circle is double. So scientists are forced to think about the connection between these sinkholes and climate change, and what will be the future of the Earth if they continue to grow one by one. On one side, deep research was going on the Yamal sinkholes. On the other side, a team of scientists from a very distant Arctic Circle found something unique, which was probably the most important step to solve the riddle of the Yamal sinkhole. There is an easy lake near the northwest coast of Alaska which has been behaving very odd for the past few months. According to locals, bubbles are coming out of the easy lake as if water is boiling. A team of scientists arrived here in search of this mystery. When samples of these bubbles were taken, it was known that these are also bubbles of methane gas. It is common for a slight leak of methane gas in Arctic regions. But the surprising thing in this case was that 10 tons of methane was coming out from Easy Lake every day. This was happening for the first time in the entire Arctic region that so much methane gas was coming out from the lake. The team decided to go underwater in Easy Lake to look for the source of methane gas. Although Easy Lake is 3 feet deep, but the place from where bubbles were coming out was very deep, where it was not possible for divers to go. Therefore, with the help of sonar scanning, a 3D model of the land under Easy Lake was made. It was found that the place from where bubbles are coming out is 50 feet deep. On one hand, the reason for the formation of sinkholes in Yamal was also being told to be methane gas. On the other hand, a large quantity of methane gas was leaking from under Easy Lake. Both these locations are in the Arctic Circle, and there is one more thing common between these two. These two locations are located on the surface of the Earth called permafrost. Permafrost is the type of Earth that is completely frozen from the inside. This is a large area of land that includes Russia, Canada, and Alaska. Recent research has shown that due to the increase in temperature in the Arctic Circle, the permafrost has begun to melt. That is, if the lake, mountains, rivers, forests, and man-made structures standing on it melt from inside, then it is very difficult to imagine what will happen as a result. From 600 kilometers away from Easy Lake, the proof of melting of the permafrost is hidden in the forests near Foxtown in Alaska. This forest is also present above the permafrost, where the locals have noticed that the forest has suddenly tilted to one side. It seems that the roots of these trees have weakened. Apart from this, when we went deep into the forest, we found that the soil here was also crushed and a strange hole had formed in the soil. The sound of water falling in this hole is heard continuously, while there is no water spring or lake nearby. This big change has not been happening for many centuries, but this has started only after 2018. But the question is, what is the connection between melting of permafrost, methane gas, and sinkhole of Yamal? To understand this, in Fairbank, Alaska, a tunnel was dug in the permafrost. What is seen in this tunnel is that along with the frozen land, the remains of ancient animals are also frozen, in which the mammoth, steppe bison, and thousands of years old grass are also preserved. This shows that there is a very high quantity of organic matter inside the permafrost. You all must be aware that all organic matter contains carbon. As plants grow, they absorb carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, and when they die during decomposition, some of this carbon is released back into the atmosphere. But due to the freezing temperature in the Arctic Circle, the process of decomposition is very slow. Therefore, over thousands of years, many organic matter are now preserved inside the permafrost. That is, their bodies have not yet decomposed, and carbon is still present inside them. Experts believe that the amount of carbon that is inside the permafrost may not be present even in the picture of the entire Earth. Therefore, as the permafrost is melting due to global temperature rise, the organic matter, that is, fossils present inside it, are also getting decomposed. Bacteria eat their carbon for their energy and then release methane gas in return. Apart from this, the ground is also getting soft due to melting of permafrost, and now the methane gas trapped below it does not face any obstruction in coming up. The gas easily makes its way in the moist soil and gets out from the weak points of the surface. These sinkholes are formed due to the release of this gas. This is the reason that the number of these sinkholes in the economic circle is increasing day by day. Experts have not found any solution to this problem till now. Of course, no matter how much we control global warming, we cannot stop the permafrost from melting.